Associative learning is when an organism makes connections between stimuli or events that occur together in the environment, also known as conditioning. There are two types of conditioning: operant conditioning and classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is a process by which we learn to associate stimuli and consequently anticipate events. Have you ever went to go grab your dog's leash and he starts freaking out and wagging his tail and jumping around and spinning and everything like that? That is an example of classical conditioning. The leash being attached to his collar is the unconditioned stimulus, which is a stimulus that elicits a reflexive response in an organism. The dog's tail wagging is an unconditioned response, which is a natural reaction to a given stimulus. In classical conditioning, there is a neutral stimulus, which is a stimulus that does not naturally elicit a response. In this case, the neutral stimulus is the leash itself, which is presented right before the unconditioned stimulus. Over time, the grabbing of the leash would elicit the excitement and wagging of the tail, which would become the conditioned stimulus, which is a stimulus that elicits a response after repeatedly being paired with an unconditioned stimulus. The behavior caused by the unconditioned stimulus is called the conditioned response. On the other hand, we have operant conditioning. This is where organisms learn to associate a behavior and its consequence. Now, consequences aren't good or bad, but are positive or negative reinforcements. While both reinforcements strengthen the response, positive reinforcements add to the response, while negative takes away. So a positive reinforcement would be if a child doesn't do their homework, adding another chore to the chores that they already have to do, while a negative reinforcement would be taking away their Xbox or their phone or their toys or whatever. So the big difference between operant conditioning and classical conditioning is that operant conditioning entails a consequence, good or bad, to the response.